Hey guys, I'm Lucy, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be doing kind of like a hot take on No Man's Sky and the big 4.0 update. The thing, I guess a lot of people on the Steam, PC, Xbox, PlayStation side have been definitely a split in the community. So with that, I'm going to give, I guess, just some little opinions here of things, and we're just going to kind of go from there. So the first thing that we'll go ahead and start with, I think, which is the main thing that everybody's been like gung ho about, which for obvious reasons I agree is, let me show you. So you open up your tab, to go to your exosuit, starship, multi-tool, freighter, exocraft, whatever. They rechange the inventory system. So far, they're in the right direction. I agree with it. However, what they did, they removed, you used to have three tabs here where you had a technology, or I should say an inventory tab, a cargo tab, and the technology tab. So as you can see, the technology tab's still here, and the cargo tab is still here. So they removed your third tab of inventory. However, in that third tab that was called inventory, you could also put these. Whoops. You could put these, your modules, inside either the tech tree and or the inventory tree. So with the way that they changed it now, being that there's only two instead of those three tabs, and they didn't change the overload much. I'll show you exactly what happens. Like, let's see, I got three S jetpacks, right? Now these three S jetpacks are actually module upgrades. They're not a click here and install technology, which you can have as many of these as you want. They don't interfere with the overload. Three, and then that's the jetpack themselves, and then the three extra things that I have along with it: neural stimulator, the jet engine, and then the water jet. So nothing yet. Looks fine. You can see the orange glow around it. The border means it's connected, and the bonuses are connected. So anyway, let's go take, I don't know, any one of these and go to put it in. Oh, cannot place item in technology slot. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, they won't even let you put them in there anymore. So there you go. Instead of even breaking, like to show you that it's going to break, you can't even put it in there right now. Which, what happened was, in essence, characters, like your character, your exo suit character, and your starship, were were their effectiveness was cut in half. In fact, I think some people would argue more than half, depending on what starship and what things you were trying to go for it for. Now, I was talking to one of my friends who's been playing a little bit, and I told him after like 200 hours on my first save, my first normal save, I was like, you know what? I think the player is too strong. I think the player character pre 4.0 was just you were kind of like a little god walking around, especially when you started getting good multi tools. This was something I'm actually working on right here. Just as gonna be a scanning and a mining tool, but I mean, you could fly for forever. In fact, let me show you guys something. Let's go ahead and get out of my freighter because that's where I'm just kind of chilling at. And we're just gonna go run down, and I'm gonna teleport to one of the old bases that I used to have. I mean, I still use it. It's just not as cool as some of my other ones anymore. And I have one that I will. I don't want to. In fact, I'm not even saying it. So anyway, let's just go to the teleporter. Let's go to my bases. We'll go to the island house, and then I'll show you guys exactly what all that nonsense I was just saying about technology being cut in half. I don't want to go into the numbers game, and I hate not being able to show a visual. So we're going to show you guys a quick visual. I'm teleporting right now to, I would say this is my first house that I ever made in the game, and you could tell by a lot of the way it's structured. It looks kind of a little blistered up. So anyway, but the point of why we're here is I'm going to show you guys. We're going to jump down, and we're going to go outside. So as you can see, I made like a shed and all kind of stuff. Oh, I go ham in this. Anyway, so I'm standing like right here, kind of by my steps. In fact, I'll go up to the little oxygen thing. And then if you look up, let me get out. You can't really see that too well. If you look up there, let me, right there, that is a little platform that I made quite a long time ago. I would say probably over a month ago, before I even had 6 Jetpack S upgrades installed at all, right? So, with those, once I got the 6, I was able to fly above that with having about 15% left, and I could do it from standing right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a shot, and I'm at the max jetpack that you're allowed to in the game right now. So as you can see, we're creeping up, we're creeping up, we're creeping up. Oh no, no, not at all. And I'm gonna fall, and oh, be damn, I didn't take too much damage. So anyway, as you can see, I can't even get up there anymore. So that was just three little pieces of platform that I put up there, the wood, that I made as a test for my jetpack, because they don't give you any numbers here like they do for your, oh, I don't know, your Starship. Oh, I don't know, your multi-tool. Your exocraft does not. And your freighter also has numbers too. So why you can't see how the things work is, I wish they'd add that in. There's really no point in having mystery when the other tabs have numbers. But the point is, you could literally see that everything went down. So I understand what people are saying. Now, I kind of side that the character was too strong, and I think the Starship was too strong too. However, you got these, which you're seeing right here. These are, oh, well, you gotta hate when that happens, huh? Let's see if I can get rid of this. This randomly happens in your bases. Stuff is going to come back if you don't come back for a while. I don't really know if that's a procedural thing. It's probably a very hard bug to figure out how to work out. Anyway, the point is, like, these are all the exocrafts, and then the Nautilus is down here, and they're all pretty much useless. Even with the nuke to the player, the exocrafts got no buff. I mean, you can't even buy modules for the Pilgrim, which is the Batmobile, as I like to call it, which is this one right here. You cannot buy mods for it. They don't exist in the game. Only a few upgrades you can install. Mods for this, the Exocraft. So there are some mods. No mods for the Nomad. Few mods for the Nautilus down there. The Minotaur, jeez, he's better than everything combined, isn't he? And then the Colossus, no modules for it. So you gave love to everything else, but you're going to need to give love to these exocrafts. In fact, I would say a few people have said this before, probably before me, and many more, that use some of these, like the Colossus, to mine heavy stuff. Like, you can't mine advanced things with your pistol anymore. You would need to use one of these, you know, to mine heavy stuff, advanced stuff, no matter what. There's no upgrade. Remove that from the multi-tool. You, as the character, can do everything. Lord, let me swap. You as the character can do everything better than any of the exosuits can. The only benefit of using one of them, and now with the big inventory, so they made them better in a sense. They gave them a buff to inventory. Is like, oh, I'll jump in him and just show you this right here, environmental control unit. The Minotaur needs one slot. You're immune to all environmental hazards. Oh, I don't want to move it. Whereas, oh, I don't know, anything else. Let's hop into the Colossus again. And you see I have to install all four of these individually to become immune to all four of them. Now, I don't care because you have so many slots now. But my point still stands, I think, pretty standard, that the exocraft super duper needs some love. Not just the Starships and the way they kind of, I'm not going to say butchered the technology, because it didn't affect your freighter necessarily, and it didn't affect your multi-tools necessarily, because you never had another tab anyway. That, okay, in the freighters you could do inventory, but let's face it, how many people really had 16 inventories, 16 techs, and 16 things full of S classes? You know, it took a while to do that. I still don't have a lot of S classes because it's hard. I mean, you just got to farm the things. It takes a while. I'm not saying it's hard. It just takes a while. So, and I'm sure some people did have an inventory full of upgrades. You know, so the way I looked at it, you went from 21 up, 21 plus 25, to now just the maximum of 25 on the exosuit. So you literally lost half of your upgrade slots and everything that used more than just the technology, which the multi-tool and the exocrafts are the only thing that did not use more than one tab to install technology. So it affected freighters, starships, and exosuits. But because you can't play with the freighter necessarily, you can really work with it. You don't actually control it. You don't see a big as impact as the starship and the exosuit. So I think they're on the right path of increasing the difficulty of the game, because I think anyone will say that, hell, after you get really 2 S upgrades on certain things, you start to become super duper strong as a character. You're like, well, what do I even need the exosuits for? They're fun, but they're kind of useless. Let's all be honest about it. And as far as the starships, I mean, other than the freighter being the hyperdrive, well, you can't do nothing else with them in the first place. So I think Captain Steve may have said something, and some other people might have mentioned something lately as a fix to that, and I think they are. Give a class identity to the 6 starships. You know, like a playable character class. Give them an identity, because right now there's almost no point to fly anything other than a fighter. I mean, if you get an S fighter and you stack it out, I mean, you're gonna have kind of the best of both worlds, you know. And I think they, oh my God, fix the collision in space combat. Please fix the collision. There's nothing worse than watching enemy ships just fly inside of freighters. Please fix that. And having to sit there and wait, and then they just hover inside the freighter, and you're like, oh. So anyway, that's just a little pet peeve that I've been noticing recently with space combat, but whatever. Um, so I think 4.0, Jesus, is going to end up being long. So I think 4.0 is heading in the right direction, but they need to start giving a little more identity to things because you don't want to merge everything together. In fact, I think the idea of if you change a setting or once you lock this on a normal save, you can't change anything anymore. I think that did remove progression for a lot of people. You know, because let's look at this base right here. You know, let me fly out. I know it doesn't look like it's a lot, but this took me quite a while to build, and it took a lot of farming to get all these materials to get this. I mean, look at all this crap. I don't even need this nonsense anymore because I could go build something better now. But the point is, it's like this took a lot of ferrite dust. It took a lot of farming. That's why I built it around the water right here because of that. I mean, look, I even made a little freaking bridge across, and I hit the 3,000 limit. Not on this one, but there's another one that I did. But the point still stands. I kind of lost track of thought, actually, about what the point was on that. So I kind of flashed out, right, starships. Anyway, so I think they have a little ways to go with giving us a balance for as far as of a class identity. And they have all the stuff in the game already, you know, and maybe they already got something down the works. I just think this was not the best way to do it. You did a stark difficulty change that was, I think it was needed, but it I mean, hell, I guess there really is no way to kind of do that, you know, to kind of bring the numbers down. And I don't want them to necessarily give us the ability to install 6 of these things. I think uh, that kind of goes back to what we had before. But giving me 60 slots and not being able to use nothing but like 40 of them, I think that's kind of silly. Um, you know, so maybe boosting these up or giving maybe the black market ones let you do 2 S's or 3 S's of or 8, you know, C, B, or S, and then like maybe 2 black markets or 1 black market along with that. Maybe add a little bit up, you know, a little differentiation because you have the black markets and then you got the Forbidden Sentinel ones, which are also a 3rd tier, which these are kind of a pain in the ass to get, you know. So make this for everything. Maybe make it for starships, make it for multi-tools, make it for the exocrafts. Man, make it to where these exocrafts, you need to play with them. You know, what's the point of having the Minotaur that just kind of overpowers everything? It can find everything. You don't need to go get Starship charge. You can just summon this and boom, get everything. So, uh, give them more of a class identity. You know, if and I said this, in fact, on a Captain Steve video as a comment maybe a week ago, after 4.0 dropped, I agree that there's a lot of content here that I think they need to go back and now finally tweak, detail, go back, maybe rehash some things, like they did with the inventory system. They're definitely on the right track with that. I hate having all these gray things that I can't do anything with, but we're not going to talk about that too much anymore. I think you guys got the point of that. So I think the increase in difficulty was warranted. You know, tweak what you got already and give us like a freighter system maybe on planets, you know, but was it warranted? Yes. Did they go about it the right way? I don't think so. I don't think a lot of people, in fact, there's an experimental branch out right now on Steam where they've already addressed some of these issues, you know, and they've already said some of that, like, oh, we're gonna lock the save if you know, on a normal save. Do you want to never be able to change a difficulty setting? Which was kind of weird in the first place. I don't think you shouldn't have grandfathered in older saves with that in the first place. I think that was kind of a bad idea because that right there kind of split the community down the middle. I mean, watch, I'll show you. I'll go to it. Go to my save right now, and if you go to difficulty settings, see, mine's still set to normal, but look at that. I can easily go and just crafting free. Changes it, you know, and then you have to apply it. But wow. You know, like, that's it. You just hit escape. Go back to building. See, oh, what do I want to make? What's, how many whatevers? Just drop down a gazillion of them. Doesn't matter. So I think that was maybe not the best way to do that. But you're introducing it to a new community too. So I think that there was a lot of good, more good that came from the negative. Did the player character, ourselves, need a slight nerf in power? I think so. I think they were just too strong. It really gave the exosuits no reason to exist. Do the exosuits, listen to me. Do the exocrafts still have a reason to exist? Not really, man, other than just kind of playing around and being fun with. So I think they need to, the main thing with this rebalance, again, you already have all this stuff, rebalance it. You already have module sellers. You already have an exocraft module guy. Like, you have these systems in place. Quests, all these back-end systems are already, you have them programmed and you use them in other ways. Just tweak the code just a tad bit, subtract or add a line of code to some of them, and you'll be able to easily do this. You guys have all that. You know how easy it is, right? To tweak some things. I understand some things like the procedural generation stuff, like the base coming back just now. I'm sure that's very hard to keep control of 1.6 trillion planets, which is my hot take on that. I know this is going to stir some comments. That's too fucking much. Bring it down. That's just too much. That's too much stuff that no one's ever going to get to enjoy. Bring it down and make the things more detailed that you already have. I think that's the way to go. There's a lot of mod people that, mod people, I'm sorry, mod developers and independent developers that make mods for this game. And I haven't personally used any because I just don't. I'm at the point now where, I guess, other than Elder Scrolls, right? Because I just got so used to having the numbers show up with that mod that came, and the mini map mod. Those two, I don't think I could play the game without them, in all honesty, and because I got so used to having that timer number for my cooldowns at the bottom, and then the mini map. But like a game like this, does it add to it? Of course. Is it necessary? I don't think so. Could they take some of that and add it in? Well, they kind of did when they went to this difficulty setting shit, but you kind of went a little overboard with what you could do at any given moment on what type of save. Like for a normal save, and it's too late now because the patch already came out, so I guess there's no point even mentioning stuff like that. But I think they're gonna go on the right path here. Hello Games is doing they got a really good thing going here right now. I mean, as far as going from a space in a spaceship that can shoot and have combat in first to third person to flying down almost seamlessly. Oh, well, I mean, let's just talk about it. I'm at my base. I'm just going to run back here. I'm going to go upstairs because that's just how I built this place. I have a starship pad. We're going to go outside. Oh, and that one's, all right, it's the one down there. So I went through the wrong door, but it doesn't matter. Like, watch how seamless. I'm on the planet, go up, look up at the sky. Wish I could land on that I made a long time ago. They killed it. And then there's like a second stutter. And guys, I'm in space now. Space combat. So, freighters. Let's go see if we can steal something. Because this is the only way to get salvage frigate modules. I don't know what people have told y'all, but the drop rate on salvage frigate modules is abysmal unless you steal them. So I would recommend to just fly around in freighters and blow stuff up and steal them. It's just the best thing to do. I love it how they're calling me to come help them out, but I'm about to steal from them. And then you can still recruit them after you blow up a cargo pod. That shit's hilarious. But anyway, yeah, so that's some of my hot takes, guys. I think they're in the right direction. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more content kind of like this, kind of touchy, I guess on both sides, the good and the bad. No Man's Sky, I think, is a great game. They have I say a lot of potential still there. There's a lot of games still here. They just need to add a little more coercion now, a little more cohesion, make it a little more cohesive to bring some of the other things together. That's all. And with that, I think I'm going to cut it, guys, because I rambled on a little bit longer than I wanted to. But there's a lot here. I would still recommend the game if anyone's on the fence about it. And especially now, starting new, some of these things you won't have to experience. Now, you won't get to experience the God Mode player, the exosuit player, but you're still going to get to experience all the other, not you're not gonna be dying. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they made the game hard, hard, hard. It's just they brought the god modeness down of the player character and of the starship a little bit. You know, and the freighter warp drive really got reduced, and the speed that you can do missions, your freighter missions. But it's not like you can go out on the freighter mission anyway, which would be cool if you could join them and go do a mission for like 15 minutes where you just go and boom and you get much better rewards. That would be cool, but I understand that would probably be hard to kind of put in. Then again, you got the anomaly, so you have an instant zone and you warp people out in there when they're in the groups and multiplayer. So it sounds like you already have the tech built to do something like that. Oh, hey, you want to launch the freighter mission for 8 hours? Or do you want to go do the freighter mission for 30 minutes, get all the rewards or a different set of rewards? You'll get action combat. You might get to fight alongside your freighters. You might get to chase pirates down from outside space onto a planet. You already kind of have these things in the game. You just need to connect them. It's like connecting the dots on this. Like, I know you guys can't maybe see these little lines, but these were old still left in the game from it used to let you know how to take a trade route to go somewhere, where a lot of people go, or what might have a lot of commodities. And the more trade lines would go somewhere, the better planet or trade outlet it was to go. But none of that matters anymore because they just throw money at you like it doesn't matter, even in a normal mode before they did 4.0. So, blah, I could keep rambling. I'm going to cut it short here, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all later. Wow! Let's go. Let's see if they got anything.